So this is an update on the SRT4 build, the engine. You can see it's upside down here. And I would like to preface this by acknowledging that I made mistakes. Those mistakes being, number one, I did not use, or I used unreliable sources. How so? Well, because approximately 2 years ago, I was in a bit of a hurry to get this engine done. I did not want to wait for, say, Daryl Cox Racing to do the head for this engine. So I found the port doctor, the scam doctor, if you will, and he said that in 6 to 7 weeks, I could get my head ported for approximately $1,100. That included port work and chamber work, which was an option, which is cheaper than Daryl Cox Racing, and 6 to 7 weeks definitely beats about a year. So I took him up on that offer and paid him the money. Through multiple different issues that he had and whatnot, I thought, because he many times would not answer my emails, my messages, he deleted his account on Facebook, which is where I mainly had contact with him, and I finally got his number to text him. He finally got the head to me. I was really surprised. I actually bought a used factory head to just throw the engine together, and then he got back to me and said, hey, I've got it, and it actually showed up. Well, the problem is that head not only was not finished, because I had larger valves to install, I had just basic work to be done to it, have the head surfaced, that sort of thing. Well, when the head did show up, which was rather surprising, and do apologize the sweat, but it is very hot here in Louisiana, the chamber work, which I paid extra for, was not done. The head was ported, the ports looked pretty good, but the chamber work that I paid for wasn't done. He never gave me a refund for that, but whatever. So I had the head in hand. At that point, I was kind of like, I was kind of done with the whole project, but so I let the head sit for a couple months, and I found a local machinist, which if you watch the channel, probably one of the previous videos, several previous videos, I had found a machine shop, dropped the head off. This was November of 2022. As of right now, it is the end of July 2023. Now, when I dropped the head off, he said before Christmas it would be done. One of the previous videos is from January, maybe February, where I went to go check on the head. It's still not done. This is the end of July. I've had multiple excuses. Again, I acknowledge the fact that I used unreliable sources. Looking back, I should have just paid the money and had Daryl Cox Racing do the head. It would have taken a year. It would have cost probably less than what I have in this head now to be done. It would have taken a year. I'm okay with that, especially at this point. That's what I should have done. So here I am. The head is not finished. I've had multiple excuses, this and that. It's a local machine shop. Yes, he's really more of an old school guy, but it's not that difficult of a job, but obviously it is. So I have located another head. This head has stock size valves, which I'm okay with, especially at this point. But it does have a set of, I believe, crane valve, or not crane, but I've got a set of them. Whatever the common valve springs are, which will work for my crane cams. Okay, so it's basically ready to go onto the engine. I purchased it today. If by some miracle the ported head shows up and he says it's done before the new head shows up, well, then we'll choose from there. That's the update on the head fiasco. I'm literally just waiting for a head to finish this engine. Now, back in approximately December or so, there was a guy on one of the Facebook groups selling, or building and selling, windage trays with an oil pan baffle included into it. I bought that, like I said, back then. That guy disappeared, and I couldn't find his contact information, so I kind of thought it was gone. Well, lo and behold, Facebook changed up the way that they do their messages, and now marketplace messages, which tie into some of the Facebook buy and sell groups, are in another tab. Did not know this until a couple months ago. Well, I found the guy. He had messaged me and said there would be a delay. And I said, okay, not a problem because I am delayed. He got back with me after a few delays, and he delayed his delay, but they showed up. And I spent extra money, mind you, for not only the windage tray, which has the oil baffle right there, kind of neat for the oil pan, especially if on the SRT4 you've removed the balance shaft assembly, which I have. So I already have a windage tray installed in this from SDK, and that one took a little while, but that's SDK, if you know anything about them. But I have that installed, but I do like this design with the oil baffle already installed, which is kind of nice. It finally showed up. The welds aren't bad. They're not great. They're not bad. So that will be going on soon while I wait for one of the heads to show up. I also bought a windage tray, a full-on crank scraper, not windage tray, crank scraper from him that should fit with this. We'll see. It's not the greatest in the world. You've got an elongated hole here. We'll see how it all lines up. I'll pull the oil pan back off. I get these installed. At least this. We'll see on this one, depending on the crank scraper. You got to remember the SRT4 gasket does have a crank scraper aspect to it. So I may dispense with this. I may sell this to somebody else. We will see. But at least I've got some parts. Hopefully, here soon, I should be able to get this engine completed, put together, and installed into the chassis, which is waiting for a little bit of love. It's hot here. I am dripping sweat. But I wanted to do a relatively quick update video on where the SRT4 has been and is. There's the Challenger. Not a lot has happened with it. It's been a very busy year here. Not had a chance to take it to the track. I've used the drag radials a couple times. I've actually still not installed the tires, the Porsche tires, the used Porsche tires. I've not even installed them on the wheels yet. I've drove it not a whole bunch, so I've not actually wore out the other street tires. So be it. That is a quick update on the XI tuning lifestyle or Syndology lifestyle and what's been going on. So hopefully here soon I'll have an update more so on the Neon because I miss having a turbo. So that's it. I will catch you next time. Hopefully we'll have good news.